Welcome to the Deep Dive. Now, if you just glance at the career of our subject today, Geena Davis, you see, you see the highlights, right? 2 Oscar nominations, a Golden Globe.
A true cultural icon, for sure. Films that really lasted.
Exactly. But if you stop there, you're really missing. Like the whole picture, her path has been anything but conventional.
Oh, absolutely. It's this fascinating mix of high-level achievements. It's not just Hollywood success. We're talking about someone with serious intellectual chops, a near-Olympic athletic detour, and then this incredibly focused, data-driven activism that's genuinely changed things in media.
So that's our mission today. We want to connect those dots. We're going way beyond Thelma Louise, beyond A League of Their Own, great as they are.
Yeah.
We want to see how that intellectual curiosity, that ability to just dive in, analyze, and commit.
How that allowed her to pivot so dramatically throughout her life, from action star potential to, well, a social change pioneer. We've got a lot to draw on here.
Yeah, let's start right at the beginning. Those early details often tell you so much.
They really do. Like, her name. She was born Virginia Elizabeth Davis. The Geena, we all know. That wasn't some Hollywood invention.
Oh, really?
No, it was just a family nickname. Her older brother, Danforth, couldn't say Virginia easily, and they already had an Aunt Virginia who went by Ginny. So he came up with Geena. Simple as that. Practical.
Practicality. Or maybe adaptability.
Yeah.
That seems like a running theme here. Even before college, she did something pretty unusual.
Right, the exchange student year in Sandviken, Sweden.
And this wasn't just a holiday. She really immersed herself, didn't she? Became fluent in Swedish.
Totally fluent, which, for a teenager, that's a huge undertaking. It really speaks to this ability to engage, to learn deeply.
And then back in the U.S., moving to New York.
Yeah.
The early jobs were pretty interesting, too, before modeling really took off.
Before she signed with Zoli, yeah. She was actually working as a window mannequin model for Ann Taylor.
Wait, like posing completely still in the window?
Exactly. Essentially being a live mannequin. It's kind of a surreal image, right? A future Oscar winner holding a pose for hours. Talk about paying your dues.
Definitely. But underlying all this, there's something really crucial, the intellectual side.
This is key, and it's something a lot of people don't know. Geena Davis is a member of Mensa,
The High IQ Society.
the High IQ Society, and suddenly a lot of things start to click into place, don't they? That capacity for intense focus, for analysis, for specialized learning.
It explains so much about her later career path, especially the activism. She didn't just feel there was a problem with gender representation.
No, she approached it like a research project. Hired the researchers, commissioned the biggest study ever done on it, used hard data. She measures, analyzes, then implements. That's the Mensa mind at work, you could argue.
Okay, so we have this incredibly bright, adaptable young woman, fluent in Swedish, Mensa member, working model. That rigor then fuels this amazing career surge in the 80s. Let's call this the rise to prominence, maybe 82 to 92.
Sounds about right. And what a launch. 1982, her debut is in Tootsie.
I mean, talk about starting strong. Sidney Pollack directing, Dustin Hoffman starring. Critical smash, huge commercial hit.
Massive. Second most profitable film of the year. 10 Oscar nominations. Just incredible.
And her famous quote about the role was something like, someone who's going to be in their underwear a lot.
Yeah, which is funny and, well, accurate for the part, but it definitely undersells the confidence it took to make an impression in that cast.
True. But even with a debut like Tootsie, it's rarely a straight lineup, is it? There was TV work, too.
Oh yeah, the dues paying continued. She was a regular on a sitcom called Buffalo Bill. Critically acclaimed, actually got like 11 Emmy nods.
But canceled.
But canceled. Ratings weren't there. Then she did another series, Sarah, which only lasted 13 episodes. So, she experienced the typical ups and downs of TV early on, showed resilience.
But the real momentum started building mid-decade, especially with science fiction, right? And a key collaboration.
Absolutely. The Fly in 1986. David Cronenberg directing. A huge commercial success, genuine body horror classic. It really established her as a serious actor who could handle intense drama.
And that's where she starred opposite Jeff Goldblum.
Who became her husband, yeah. They'd actually worked together before that on a less successful horror comedy, Transylvania 6-5000. But The Fly was the big one for them as a screen pair, and it showed her range moving from comedy to that kind of intensity.
Okay, so the mid-'80s set the stage, but then comes this incredible, 4-year peak where everything just explodes, starting in 88.
1988 is massive for her. First, Beetlejuice. Tim Burton. She's Barbara Maitland, one of the sweet, recently deceased ghosts trying to haunt their own house.
Great film. Such a unique performance from her, balancing the comedy and the pathos. And it was a hit.
Big hit, made over $70 million on a $15 million budget. It really cemented that quirky, endearing persona.
And that persona probably helped set the stage for what happened later that same year, the Academy Award.
Exactly. Best Supporting Actress, Oscar for The Accidental Tourist.
Playing Muriel Pritchett, the dog trainer, she was just luminous in that. Critics loved her. Roger Ebert said she brought this unforced wackiness, but also that the character was complex, not as simple as she sometimes seems.
Right. It wasn't just quirky for quirky's sake. She gave Muriel real depth. That intellectual underpinning, again, perhaps finding complexity even in eccentricity.
Okay, so Oscar winner. Then, 1991, the big one, Thelma and Louise.
Landmark film, instantly iconic. It wasn't just a movie, it was a cultural event.
Absolutely. Feminist touchstone, huge critical conversation, commercial success, and her performance as Thelma, the journey from repressed housewife to liberated fugitive.
Wow. Oscar nomination for Best Actress, BAFTA nom, Golden Globe nom. It was huge for her and for Susan Sarandon, obviously.
And you can't talk about Thelma Louise without mentioning, yeah.
Brad Pitt, yeah. It basically launched his career. That role as J.D., the charming thief.
And he remembers it. Decades later, winning his own Oscar, he specifically thanked her and Ridley Scott for giving him his first shot.
Which is pretty classy and shows the impact that film and her presence in it had. It wasn't just her star turn. It was a launch pad.
Amazing. And she capped off this incredible run in 1992 with A League of Their Own.
Another smash hit. Penny Marshall directing, Tom Hanks, Madonna. 10th highest grossing film of that year.
And her role as Dottie Hinson, the star catcher, got her another Golden Globe nomination.
So yeah, that 5-year period, say 88 to 92, it's just phenomenal. From supporting player to Oscar winner to leading lady in iconic, culturally defining films, critical acclaim, box office gold. She was absolutely top tier.
A Hollywood powerhouse.
Yeah.
But as we know, what goes up often faces challenges. And the mid-90s brought a really significant downturn, which brings us to segment 2, downturn, shifting focus, and resilience.
Yeah, this period is really defined by a couple of things, starting with her third marriage to director Rennie Harlin.
And they had this big plan, right, to turn her into an action star.
That was the idea. Leverage her existing star power, his action directing chops, aim for that Schwarzenegger-Stallone level of global action bankability.
Which led directly to, well, disaster. Cutthroat Island, 1995.
Disaster is putting it mildly. I mean, Cutthroat Island is legendary in Hollywood for how badly it failed.
The budget just ballooned, didn't it?
Hugely. Around $98 million, which was astronomical for 95, and it grossed maybe 10 million worldwide. It was so bad it actually made the Guinness World Records for the biggest box office loss ever at one point.
Wow, and the fallout was immense. It basically bankrupted the studio, Korolskom Pictures, didn't it?
Yeah, Korolko had made huge hits like Rambo, Terminator 2. Cutthroat Island is widely cited as the film that sank them. Imagine having that attached to your name. It's brutal.
So that's a massive blow. They tried again quickly, though.
They did. The Long Kiss Goodnight in 1996, another action film directed by Harlan. It did okay, moderate success, but the damage from Cutthroat was done. The narrative shifted. She wasn't seen as bankable anymore.
But here's the question, right? Was it just Cutthroat Island? Or was Hollywood also doing its typical thing with actresses hitting their 40s? Because she turned 40 right around then.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's probably a mix of both. The flop provided a convenient excuse, perhaps, for what often happens to leading actresses anyway. The timing is certainly suggestive.
And then the marriage ended, too. Pretty dramatic.
Yeah, she divorced Harlan in 98. The timing was, well, awkward. It came literally the day after his child with her personal assistant was born. A very public, difficult situation.
So after all that, she took some time off.
She did. About 2 years, which she later called unusually long. Time to reflect, regroup.
And she spoke about this period later, quite openly. In a Vulture interview, she basically confirmed it. Said film roles really did start to dry up in her 40s.
Yeah, she pointed out she'd averaged about a film a year before that. But in her entire 40s, just one major film role, Stuart Little.
And she felt kind of spoiled by her earlier roles.
That's how she put it. Completely ruined and spoiled. Playing Thelma, playing a pirate captain, these huge, complex leading roles. It makes it harder to accept smaller or less interesting parts, especially when the industry just isn't offering many great roles for women over 40. Again, that intellectual rigor, she wanted substance, not just work.
So she pivoted strategically. Yeah. First, family film. Stuart Little.
Right. Playing Eleanor Little, the mom. That franchise was successful, ran from 99 to 2005. Kept her visible, working in a different kind of genre.
But the big move, The attempt to reclaim that dramatic spotlight was back on television. Commander-in-Chief.
2005 to 2006, playing Mackenzie Allen, the first female U.S. president. On paper, it seemed perfect for her. The gravitas, the intelligence.
And she won the Golden Globes for it. Best Actress in a TV Drama.
She did, which makes what happened next even more painful.
Canceled after one season.
Yep, just one season. And she was reportedly devastated. It wasn't about quality, apparently. It was scheduling. They put it up against massive hits. House, and then even worse, American Idol at its absolute peak. Just impossible competition. She even tried to shop the show to other networks. She believed in it so much, but it didn't happen.
Man, that's tough. But even though it was short-lived, it did kind of solidify her place as a major TV presence, right?
Yeah.
Able to carry a high-stakes drama.
Absolutely. And it shows that resilience again. Surviving Cutthroat Island, surviving the cancellation of a passion project. It really sets the stage for how she approached her career later. Less about chasing box office, more about quality roles, often with institutional weight.
That idea of a systematic recalculation, focusing on roles with substance, leads us perfectly into segment 3. Professional expansion and television presence from about 2010 onward.
Exactly. She really settled into these high-profile, often recurring dramatic TV roles, like on Grey's Anatomy.
Right. She played Dr. Nicole Herman, the fetal surgeon. That was the meaty role. Lots of complex medical stuff, high drama. Appeared across a few seasons.
Definitely fit that preference for intellectual challenge. And she wasn't afraid of genre work either. In 2016, she starred in the Exorcist TV series.
Oh, yeah. Playing Angela Rance, who turned out to be
The grown-up Reagan McNeil from the original movie. Big reveal. The show got good reviews, critical buzz, showed she still had that screen presence for intense material.
And what's interesting in this period is seeing how her off-screen activism started to visibly connect with her work choices. Like the voice work she did.
For Studio Ghibli's when Marnie was there, the English dub.
Yeah, and she specifically said she was drawn to it because Ghibli films are known for having lots of strong female characters.
Which is exactly what she was advocating for with her institute. So you see this deliberate alignment starting to happen,
Right.
using her choices to reinforce her message.
She also kept doing interesting independent films, Marjorie Prime in 2017.
Right, that sci-fi drama about memory, AI, another really brainy concept.
And critics noticed her performance. Vanity Fair said she stole every scene, a nice reminder to the industry of her capabilities.
Definitely. And more recently, she seems to be having fun with some quirky character roles, too. Voice work in She-Ra and the Princesses of Power.
And she was great in the last season of GLOW as Sandy Devereaux St. Clair.
The former showgirl turned entertainment director. Yeah, just embracing fun, memorable characters.
This period also saw her become an author. The memoir, Dying of Politeness, came out in 2022.
And that title says so much, doesn't it? About her journey from, as she put it, that conventional New England femininity and trauma to the feminist badassery people saw on screen, and that she then put into action in the real world.
And she's still working, still creating. She's got a children's book coming out.
The Girl Who Was Too Big for the Page, perfect tie-in to her institute's work.
And a Netflix sci-fi series, The Burrows, is on the horizon too.
So if you look at her career since, say, the late 90s, it really is a masterclass in strategic redirection, isn't it? Moving away from the volatile star vehicle system that kind of burned her.
And focusing instead on quality, on intellectual challenge, on roles that maybe resonated more with her personal mission. Across TV, indie film, voice work, writing.
That flexibility, that adaptability,
Yeah.
It goes right back to that core intellectual curiosity we talked about at the start.
And that core drive, that systematic thinking, brings us squarely to maybe her most lasting legacy. The activism, segment 4.
Yeah.
Activism, gender in media, and humanitarian work.
Yeah, it's quite possible that long-term her work off-screen will have an even bigger impact than her acting. And it all started with a simple observation.
Just watching kids' TV with her daughter, right? Around 2004.
Exactly, and noticing just visually this huge imbalance, way more male characters than female characters, something any parent might notice.
But most parents don't then launch a major research institute.
Precisely. That's the Geena Davis difference.
Yeah.
She founded the Geena Davis Institute on Gender and Media, and crucially, the approach was collaborative from the start. She knew just yelling at Hollywood wouldn't work.
She needed data, hard evidence.
Right. So the Institute sponsored the biggest research project ever done on gender in children's entertainment through USC's Annenberg School, applying serious academic rigor to cartoons and kids' movies.
And the results are pretty stark.
Yeah, they confirmed her initial observation big time. Across hundreds of films, G, PG, PG-13, even R-rated, they found almost 3 male characters for every 1 female character.
3 to 1. Wow. And that's not just leads, right? That's everything.
Everything. Background characters, crowd scenes, characters shown in different professions. The implication, especially for kids absorbing this constantly, is huge. It subconsciously reinforces the idea that men just dominate the world numerically and professionally.
So the Institute's goal became clear. Use this data to actually change things.
Exactly. Increase female presence, reduce stereotyping. But do it by going to creators and executives with the numbers, showing them specifically where the imbalances were, often unconsciously.
That famous mantra of hers,
Yeah.
if she can see it, she can be it.
That's the core idea. Show more women in diverse roles, even in the background, and it changes perceptions. The Institute provides specific data-backed advice on how to achieve parity before production even starts.
And she didn't stop at research. She created platforms for change, too.
Huh?
The Bentonville Film Festival.
Launched in 2015, and it has a very specific mission, championing diversity. It actively seeks out and showcases films with women and minorities prominent in front of and behind the camera. It's an economic driver for inclusion.
She also used her producing skills, the documentary. This changes everything.
Right, 2018, exploring the systemic gender inequality in Hollywood, drawing on her own experiences and the Institute's research. Got great buzz at TIFF. And she executive produced that educational show, Mission Unstoppable.
Which focuses on getting young women into STEM careers.
Yeah.
Another direct link.
And the industry itself has recognized this work at the highest level. She received the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award and honorary Oscar in 2019.
That's huge.
And maybe even more significantly, the Institute itself got the Governor's Award from the Academy in 2022. That shows real institutional recognition of the impact they've had.
It's not just media imagery either, is it? Her support goes wider.
No, she's a big supporter of the Women's Sports Foundation and a major advocate for Title IX.
The law preventing gender discrimination in education, especially known for its impact on women's sports.
Exactly. Which connects really nicely to her own surprising athletic story. It shows her commitment to equality is about opportunity across the board, not just on screen.
That personal athletic dedication is maybe the most unexpected twist in her story. It really highlights her drive. Which brings us to segment 5, personal life and the archery surprise. But first, maybe a quick recap of the personal side, the marriages.
Sure. It was often in the public eye. First marriage, brief, to Richard Emelo, a restaurateur, 81 to 84.
Then the very public pairing with Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, met working together, married 87 to 91. She later called it a magical chapter, emphasizing that he understood the acting world, wasn't competitive with her success.
Which contrasts with the third marriage to Rennie Harlan.
Defined by those big, ultimately troubled professional collaborations. Married 93, divorced filed in 97 under those difficult circumstances we mentioned. The timing with his child, with her assistant, definitely a tumultuous end.
And finally, her longest relationship with Dr. Reza Jarrah.
The surgeon, yeah. Together from around 99, they have 3 children together, daughter Elisa, twin sons Kais and Kian.
But the marriage itself ended up being legally complicated.
Very. When she filed for divorce in 2018, she later claimed in court they were never actually legally married, despite the ceremony and long relationship. The divorce was finalized in 2021, and part of the settlement involved changing the sons' last names to just Jarrah.
Okay, so a complex personal life, like many in the public eye. But now, the archery. This is wild.
It really is. So picture this. It's 1997. Cutthroat Island has bombed. Her marriage to Harlan is ending under stressful circumstances. What does she do?
Take up archery.
Takes up archery, a sport requiring immense precision, focused discipline. Not exactly casual hobby.
And then, just 2 years later.
2 years. July 1999. She's competing in the official tryouts for the U.S. Olympic archery team for the Sydney 2000 Games.
Against 300 of the best archers in the country. After only starting 2 years before. That seems impossible.
It's almost superhuman, isn't it? Think about the dedication. Most Olympic athletes train from childhood. She reached national competitive level in 24 months, while still managing her career, her life. It's pure, focused commitment.
Did she make the team?
She placed 24th, so no, she didn't qualify for the official team. But just getting to that level, being competitive in that field, is staggering. She did participate in an international competition in Sydney later as a wildcard entry.
That archery story just reframes everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It shows that the Mensa intellect is matched, by this incredible physical and mental discipline.
Absolutely. Whether it's learning Swedish, acting, or archery, she applies the same rigorous, analytical, all-in approach. She seems driven to master complex systems.
So wrapping this all up, what are the big takeaways from this deep dive into Geena Davis? We've seen the incredible highs, the Oscar, Thelma, and Louise.
The crushing lows, Cutthroat Island, the resilience pivoting to TV, winning another Golden Globe for Commander-in-Chief.
But the constant thread seems to be that intellectual rigor, that polymath quality.
Exactly. Actor, yes. But also Mensa member, fluent Swedish speaker, near-Olympic archer, author, and crucially, the driving force behind the Geena Davis Institute. Her most lasting impact might just be that data-driven activism changing gender representation.
Her story really shows what can happen when celebrity influence is combined with serious, methodical work for systemic change.
Which leads to a really interesting final thought for you, the listener. Geena Davis used her platform, sure, but it was her commitment to rigorous research, to data, to collaborative persistence that actually moved the needle in Hollywood. So the question is, what potential for real social or industrial change are other very visible figures overlooking when they focus solely on performance or awareness, rather than digging into the data and working to reshape the underlying systems of their industries?
It's a powerful question about leveraging influence effectively. A fantastic place to leave it. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the remarkable life and multifaceted work of Geena Davis.